Greetings, friends. Tom Bruno, Combined Martial Arts of Boston. I'm going to do a nice video today. I'm going to demonstrate various hammerlocks. Hammerlocks are great. You get the person with their arm bent up. It's very painful. It can be used as a come-along. And also, they're not hard to do. You have to know the mechanics of it. I'm going to have that demonstrated for my friend and training partner, Paul, when he comes out. But I want to explain something. The hammerlock goes way back in wrestling. George Hackenschmidt, Frank Goff, they all used that. It was very, very painful. You see it today in the MMA, the hammerlock. They call it a kimura. I'll explain that in a minute. In judo, the hammerlock is called udigarami. Now, what that means is entangled arm lock or coiled arm lock, but it's all hammerlock. In wrestling, they call it a double wrist lock when they bring the arm up behind the back. So I'm going to demonstrate some various ways that you can get into the hammerlock from different positions. I want to bring out my friend and training partner, Paul Panzolfino. You remember Paul in many of my videos. He's going to help me with things. All right, Paul, let's do the first one, the basic hammerlock. You want to get on this side here. I'm going to show you the entry of the hammerlock. Not so much defending yourself, but the actual mechanics. From here, you push down and grab the back of the elbow. Okay? Bring your hands up, and there's the hammerlock right there. I am on his elbow, and I can press down here and raise it up, and that'll cause a lot of pain in the shoulders. And let's try that again, Paul. He couldn't even be pushing me. And I come in like this, put his hand down, and I do a pivot. I step once, bring the hands up. I'm going to turn around for the camera, but that's the lock. Let me just show that by myself one thing, Paul. What I'm doing with my foot is this. Watch my feet now. Here, pivot. Or if I do it from the other side, here, watch my foot, pivot. Okay, let's try that again, Paul. You don't have to do 40 different steps. It's just a grab and pivot. And the most important thing is, let's just turn around here, is be on the elbow. Now, let's say I didn't do it right and I got him on the shoulder. Now, watch what Paul can do. If he comes up fast, he can snap my elbow. So you never grab the shoulder. The shoulder's too strong. It's right on the elbow. And, of course, from here, boom. I've got all kinds of strikes if I want to. All right, one more time, Paul. Say he's got his hand up here. I bring it down. I can grab it up or over, either way. Come in, I pivot. I'm going to move around again for the camera, and there's the lock here. And there's the strikes that I can do. Okay? Now, what happens when you do a hammerlock is that the shoulder is hyper-rotated. It's hyper-flexed. The difference is, if I got Paul's arm straight and I was doing an arm bar, that's a hyper-extension. But this is different. This is affecting the shoulder, and it's a hyper-flexation or hyper-rotation. And what it does is it pulls and tears the ligaments, the tendons, and you get a dislocated shoulder in a second. And you can also pop out the elbow. So it's a very painful hold, and it's very overcoming. You know, if you get someone in that thing, you've got a double lock here between the shoulder and the elbow. So that's very good. Okay, thank you. Now, the second one I want to show you is the kimura. You've heard this, the kimura. In MMA, when you get a hammerlock, they say, oh, so-and-so is in a kimura. Here's the story on that. In 1951, Japan had a great judo champion. His name was Masahiko Kimura. And Helio Gracie, one of the co-founders of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or as we call it, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, challenged him to a fight. They had the big fight in Brazil. Hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of people over there. And Helio Gracie was outweighed 50 or 60 pounds by Kimura. And he defeated Gracie with a hammerlock that I'm demonstrating to you guys today, but because they were so in awe of him, it's now known in MMA circles and other combat sports, it's known as the Kimura lock. But it's just a simple hammerlock. So in reference to him, we have the Kimura. And one of these you can go like this, is you grab same side, left on right, you come over and grab it here. And of course in wrestling they call this a double wrist lock, because I'm grabbing his wrist and my wrist. And then I pivot, and there's the, Paul's really tight in here because he's a weightlifter. But I mean, I could snap that up and pop out that shoulder right away. Let's try it on the other arm. From here, I come over and I grab, and then I come up, and there's the lock. Hammerlock Kimura. And of course right here, I can come in with ease. So that's the third one. Now, this one here I like, it's called a compound hammerlock. What does compound mean? It means that I'm going to put pressure on more than one joint. Actually, the hammerlock puts pressure on the shoulder and the elbow, but I'm going to show you a finger hammerlock, where we use the fingers and the hammerlock to get a thing. So, if Paul's doing this and I grab his fingers, and I come in, I got to go easy on this because this is very, I can snap that hand up for the hammerlock, and also if I pull back with my wrist, I can break his fingers. Compound means more than one lock, commutative locking, however you want to call it, affects more than one joint. So I can get the shoulder, the elbow, and the fingers. You try that again, Paul? He's in here like this. I grab, turn it in, and I come right underneath here. There's the lock. And again, I can just pull my hand back and up, and I got it. Let me try with the other hand. Here, put your hand like this. Here, come in. And I'll just turn around this way here. This is it here. He's very stiff, so I can't get him. But I've got him in a finger lock where I can break the fingers, and I can snap that up in here, and there's the compound lock. It's a very effective. And also, it could be a come-along. All right? And speaking of come-alongs, you know, in police work, they call it defensive tactics. And there's maybe a dozen good ways to get a suspect from one situation. You want to remove him, you want to get him to a patrol car before you even put the cuffs on him. So I want to show you this one here. It's time to arrest the person. Now watch how I do this. I grab the wrist in here, I come right behind, I've got the hammerlock, and I can get what they call a gooseneck. I bend the wrist in. And now I can say, let's go marching. And we go. Let's try that again, Paul. We'll try from this side here. I'll do it with the left hand. Again, I come down here, bend the wrist up. His wrist is bent. I slide my left hand, and there it is. There's the lock right there. So I've got the hammer lock, and I've got the wrist lock. And let's go until you get the cuffs. That's a beautiful come along, and it uses more than one lock, compound. So that's very important. Now I'm going to show you another variation of the Kimura. Actually, I'll be on the ground. Paul's going to be on top of me in my guard here. Yeah. You've seen this a lot, and maybe just back up a little bit. No, just back up. Yeah. You've seen this a lot in MMA. I grab his wrist, I bring it over, I slide out, and there's the hammerlock. There, and that's what they call the Kimura right there. Let's try that again. We're fighting in here. I pull his hands off, grab, under. I haven't done it yet, but I've got the double wrist lock here. I lock my leg here, and I just bring his arm behind his back. And of course, I can kick in the back of the spine. All right, let's try that on the other arm. All right, he's here. I come off underneath and bend it up. There it is. I hold him down. Bam, bam, bam. Good, Mate. Okay. All right, now I'm going to have Paul face the mirror on his right side. so effective. Even if someone, actually, Paul, why don't you get on your back? Nope. All the way down, all the way down. Face down. Oh, yeah, let's go face down first. If someone's on their back like this, you can apply it face down. Again, just grab the wrist, your hand, and you bring it up, or you can grab the double wrist lock and bring it up. I got a lot of torque here because I'm grabbing my wrist, I can pull it up. So that's very effective on thing. Let's say, Paul, of course I can go like this the other way, you know, the regular way that we did in the first one, and then I can get his finger and break his fingers and the hammerlock. Again, we have the compound lock. All right, Paul, if you get on your right side. Now, let's say he's on the right side. I bring my leg over. So he can't roll back. You can't, it's hard for him to roll because my foot's here. I've got my other leg right against his chest. Again, I go underneath. Double wrist grab and up in the back. That's a killer. I mean, I've got so much torque, which is twist, turning, I can really hurt him. And it doesn't matter if my right foot is ahead on my left foot, or if I grab with the left hand or the right. Either way, there's no wrong way to do it. Either way, you just bring that up, and if you do it with a snap, and of course then you can finish with judo chops, karate chops. Okay, thank you. So, I've given you some ideas how to use the hammerlock. And remember, you're going to tear out the joints, the ligaments, you're going to dislocate the shoulder, and pop up the elbow. Paul, are you all right? All right, I want to thank Paul because he's taken a lot of pain. Ah! Ah!